Good morning. I am back at my second home, the cat dealer. We're going to go get the few little parts that I need. Hopefully, it's not too expensive. It's just a plate, and it's not even to fix the machine. It's just from what happened yesterday. You all know. I just gotta get that plate, and then little clips for the AC thing. There's a few of them missing that I've been missing for a while since I haven't ripped apart. Might as well fix it. And then today we went on the mobile mechanic. I am going to be doing nothing outside today, not because I don't want to, but I have to force myself to sit inside and actually get computer work done so I can have jobs to not do. But yeah, no, I got some jobs I got to quote out and whatnot. So we're going to get that done today. I just got to get the machine put back together enough for the mechanic to come out and take a look at it. So let's go buy some more stuff. Don't hit the pole. And typical, just like that, plans have changed. I went back to the same parts guy to get the other stuff. The main bracket's not going to be available until tomorrow. I'll just have to put the one bolt in it and call it good and put it together enough. It's just an actuator sensor, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. I got the little clips. These little metal clips probably cost a cent to make, $8 a clip. It's how Cat stays rich. So there was another $300 for that and the other part. I was to say the good information I got is there is some check valves. Like I said initially, I think it's some kind of check valve or something, and they believe it's that as well. So the actuator's fixed. It can't be the manifold, the actual. I mean, it could be the actual manifold block, but that's highly unlikely. So they believe it's those two check valves. So I'm going to do now is run home, put the machine back together enough, put the air conditioner back, put that clip back on, and then take apart that manifold thing. And there's another Chrysler 300. Take apart that manifold thing and see, it's got to be one of those two check valves, and maybe cancel the mechanic for the day. I don't know. I'm very impatient. I should, just let the mechanic do his job, but I'd rather save the $500, especially right now, and I got to get the machine up and running. So, that's why I didn't buy the part yet. I could have, but the reason I didn't was if I take it apart and everything looks fine, it probably is not that. I am almost 100% sure it has to be something like that. So, if it was something electrical, it just would have went out. It was a slow process with the drifting and this and that. Everything in my mind saying mechanical, not electrical. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am on this one. So I'm gonna go there and get it put back together and then rip it apart again. All right, back home. This is what cost $8 per piece. This little piece of metal, $8 per. Insane. That kind of fell throughout the night, so that's nothing to be concerned about. It kind of just a little tight to work in now. What I'm going to do is go ahead and put this filter back on, put that back together, lower the cab, raise that back up, and then what we're going to be doing is taking out this manifold right here. They gave me a diagram, and it shows me where the bolts and whatnot are on it, or not the bolts, where the check valves are, and it looks like it's at the top of it, the part facing that way. So I have to remove it to work on it. Hopefully it's simple enough. And of course, the part that I couldn't get on is now on. This is the plate that I spent $280 on that I didn't need. It's technically not there yet, so what I'm gonna do is take that other thing apart and just call and cancel that because I don't need it now, which is wonderful. Turn the machine on so I could curl that the mulcher back up, get out of my way. And I did another little test, which even confirmed my suspicion that I do believe it is mechanical. On the arms, when you lift those up, that's supposed to lock everything as well. That's what saved me from not breaking my femur that one time, is because my leg lifted up, locked the machine out. I did that, kept going up. I'm not a betting man. I'm going to bet it's one of those 2 check valves. So now that I know how to take it apart already, I'm going to hurry up, get it ripped apart, take a look at it. So I misread the diagram a little bit. The 2 bolts that I thought to remove the unit were actually the 2 check valves, which are sitting right there. The one on the left is from the left, and the one on the right is from the right. As you can see, that's what those 2 bolts were. You can see the fluid reflecting on the inside of the one. So there was fluid in there. I may have just figured out what it was if I can grab this. I had a little catch pan at the bottom of the I had to catch the fluid, and if anything came out, and something very interesting did come out. Those 2 hunks of metal. Come on, see if I can grab them. Stay. So yeah, these 2 hunks of metal came out of the right or the left check valve. Came out of the see the 2 red O's, not those, the black ones. I just got water dripped on me. It's the one to the left. It came out with the fluid because when I opened it up, it wasn't there, and then a minute or 2 after it was open, I heard it hit the pan, and that's what it was. So what I'm thinking is that was preventing that check valve from closing, and it was what was keeping it open. Where those hunks of metal came from, that's a wonderful question. I don't know. So, do we keep following the rabbit down the hole, or put the rabbit back together real quick and see if the rabbit's fixed? I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to put those check valves right back where they were. They're super easy to get to now that I know, what they are. I took all this apart again, thinking I'd have to remove this whole unit. Didn't have to. So I'm going to put that all back together. That's just going to stay together. And that's simple enough. And still I've had no word from the mechanic, which I'm okay with. That might have just fixed it. Again, where those hunks of metal came from, I have no clue. Worst case scenario, I might need that whole new block. But we're not going there just yet. Let me put that back together and see what happens. Just for shits and giggles, I went ahead and took off these 2 pieces as well, just so I could really take a look in there, and everything else looks fine. The metal was in here. My concern now is where the metal came from. These 2 ports, this one and this one, they go out to the machine. And then these is, I believe, where the fluid comes in here, comes down, and then gets disseminated. So maybe that fell off in there, and that's where it got stuck. I really don't know, but I think the problem's fixed now. I think. I can't find any more metal shavings. I felt around in there. I can't feel nothing else. And everything else was right there. There's metal all over the place. I'd be a little more concerned, but it was very located in the one spot. And I've stuck my finger in there and all that. I can't feel anything else. So I think I got all the metal out. I'm going to go ahead and put it back together, and hopefully it works. Also, if this ever does come across with you, these are 27s. Use an impact. It was not coming out by hand. Had to give it a few ugga and a few duggas, and it just came out. The persuasion was more than enough to have it released from its bind. But yeah, we'll put everything back together now. Well, the mechanic just texted me. Says he's going to be here in about 45 minutes, so I'm just going to leave it for him. I don't really want to spend the money. I'd like to fix it myself, but at this point, my only conclusion would be to replace that whole manifold, replace the whole unit right there. Either A, that check valve is still bad, and he might have a new one that puts right in, and the spring rate's different on it, and it pushes enough and good to go. I doubt that. I think that wherever this metal came from, there may be a hole in the block now, and it's just completely bypassing it. So I don't know. I'm gonna let the mechanic deal with it, because by this time, if I were to cancel it, I have to pay a cancellation fee. So let the professional, he might walk up and go, "Oh, it's your Canuter valve on the third trimester of this and that," and I'll go, "Oh, okay, fix it." And it's, something stupid. I don't know. Wasn't figured out. All right, mechanic just left. He was here for about 3 minutes. Basically told him everything I did to it. He goes, "That's pretty much exactly everything I would have done." I said, "This is where I found the middle shavings." He goes, "Yeah, cracked manifold." So he just left. He talked to his boss, and I'm gonna have to have a few emails back and forth with him because he wants to charge me for an hour diagnostic time, even though the guy showed up for 4 minutes. And I'm like, well, if I'm already paying for that, just go through, rip it apart. And then he said, my boss doesn't want me doing that because then if I start and I don't finish it, there's liability. And I'm like, so I just sent the guy back. I'm fine paying for travel time. He traveled out here 100%, no problem. I'm not cool with paying for an hour of time. I mean, he literally did nothing to the machine. He sat in it, and that was it. Not one tool left his truck. So I will deal with that later. I'm going to start ripping this thing apart. Basically, as I thought, the manifold is busted, so I got to pop those 2 lines off, pop the other lines off. And there's 3 or 4 bolts at the bottom. Pop all those off, drop it, and hopefully Cat has one sitting around. So I'm releasing the pressure from the tilt because I had to take off the whole thing to get it gone. And to do so, we had to use a piece of cardboard, that, and get to that. That way I'm not just spilling oil all over the place. So I'm just letting that drain out right now. We're just letting that come down. What I should have done was, before I took everything apart, got in the machine, lowered it all the way, and then done it. But I didn't do it, so we're here now. Is what it is. Just gonna let it drain now. It's out. This is the bottom. This is the one that does the tilt. That's the problem child up there. Yeah, took apart everything. Really, the only thing that was extra was this few wires down here, an extra line. Typical engineers, they just care how stuff gets put together. They don't give a how it gets put apart. For example, see all that little nice space, all that space up there above it? If they would have raised that top manifold an inch, none of this bottom stuff out, none of the bottom wires or the extra stuff I would have taken. It would just drop straight down. Because they didn't. It's too close. I had to do a... Anyway, it's done. I'm going to take everything in the shop, clean everything up, and tear this apart because that's the one that's broken. See what's wrong with it. All broken down. These are the solenoids that I replaced. These are extensions. This is a cover for this springy thing. This thing kind of slides in and out, but doesn't actually come out, so hopefully that comes with the new block. Those are my 2 check valves, bolts for that, O-rings for that. This is the bottom plate, which I will clean up before everything gets put back together. This is the one for the tilt. I'm not touching it. I might just clean it up a little bit, but that's it. I'm not taking it apart. So I'm going to run to Cat and go by this thing. I'm going to take a photo of that. Yeah. So that, in theory, is the issue. That, I'm sure my hair is crazy, but that block is cracked somewhere. Hence the metal shavings and whatnot, and that's why the pressure's still going past it. So there's literally nothing else it can be. That is the manifold that directs all the pressure for those tilt arms. So it kind of makes sense. It was a slow crack. That's why I was losing pressure, and then when it cracked, it just went all the way up. All right, I'm gonna go find my hat, which is right here, and then we'll run the Cat. Oh. So I just left Cat. It is not good news. Kind of odd. He checked with like 2 or 3 other people, so I don't think it's because they don't know what they're talking about, but you can break the bank down into individual pieces, as I showed. That's pretty cool, actually. All right, that made it worth it. No, you can break down it into the individual pieces, the individual blocks. Cat doesn't sell the individual block. They sell the whole unit. The whole unit is $5,500. I don't have that. I would have had that. I probably just spent $9,000 paying down the Amex, but they lowered my limit by $5,000. So I only have $4,000 on there. This is the toughest spot I've ever been in with the business in the 6 years I've been doing this. So hopefully this only happens once every 6 years and I can run through it. And I'm waiting on a $15,000 check. And I got like 20 grand work lined up, but I can't do the work with, you know what I mean? So I'm going to do some research online, see if I can find a third party, one person that makes just that part. But most likely what's going to happen is I'm going to have to apply for a CAT card. It's basically like a CAT's credit card. Run the purchase on that, and then just pay that off. And move on with my life. What are you going to do? Here's what it is. Just got to make it happen. All right, I am back in my second home. Well, third home. The dealership is my second home. This is my third home. I think I'm going to apply for joint residency. Maybe get less on taxes for the year. Here we are. So they sell, as I said, the whole thing. So this is getting replaced. This is getting replaced. What will have to happen is I'll take this hose off. The two main lines will come off, the main manifold. This is the one for the transmission. All these lines are just kind of sitting there. I think off this one, there's just this big line right here I got to take off. Pop those two off. So this will actually come off pretty quick. And then I believe this big old bolt right here is what holds it in. That's the only thing that's really obvious. I applied for the CAT card. The smallest amount I was allowed to apply for was 10 grand, which was fine. The part's 5,500. What I'm going to do is I need to do hydraulic change, and I need to do a oil change. So I'm going to get everything on that good to go. Just get this machine tip top. And I'm hoping this is the Lord's way of forcing me to do maintenance on the machine. And then once it's all good to go, I'll have more work than I know what to do with. I'm hoping that's the reason for all of this. Haven't missed a payment yet. Don't plan on it. Somehow it'll all work out. But yeah, that's where we're at. We're just waiting for the CAT card approval, which my credit score is amazing. I've had this machine 2 years, haven't missed a payment. I don't believe we should have any issues with that. All I'm going to do is put the cab down, and I'm leaving all the tools out. I'll deal with it in the morning. And then probably tomorrow what I'll do is the machine's going to stay here. I will do an oil change on the truck. And then check all the tires and whatnot and probably head out to South Carolina. Maybe tomorrow afternoon or Saturday. I have to be back on Monday. So maybe I'll leave tomorrow. Try to get some money coming in. But this project's on hold for now. I'm going to go eat dinner. All right, the dog's already put to bed. I was just finishing up moving a clip over to my laptop. I did not work out today, mainly because I forgot I was just covered in oil and grease, and I just wanted to shower and be clean. So it was supposed to be rowing today. Didn't do that. I'm going to lift again tomorrow. But yeah, I don't know. I'm very optimistic about the machine. Apply for the CAT card. Most likely going to get it. I should be getting it. And you know what? We'll get it fixed. It'll be a learning experience. We'll move on with our lives. I'll get through it, you know? I don't think this is going to hold me down or stop me in any way. It's just part of going through it. So, you know, I do believe in God. I believe it's God's plan. Why now? I don't know, but there's a reason for it. Yeah, I'm not supposed to be doing a job, or I'm not supposed to be driving on the road or somewhere or something. I don't. There's a reason for it, and I don't understand it, but I will accept it. So here's what it is. We'll get it. Hopefully, if everything goes well, CAT card will be approved in the morning. I will go, and if it's not, I can still kind of make it work a different way by putting on 2 different credit cards. Don't like doing that, but kind of have to do it that way. Either way, we'll make it happen. I guess that's it. Good night.